This is Jared Horak for today's RacingDigest.com, and my Today's Racing Digest video series continues Saturday, August 24th, 2019. We're going to do the 11th race from Saratoga Racecourse, the Grade 1 Travers Stakes for 3-year-olds, and they're going to be traveling 1.25 miles on the main track. Now we're going to have a 12-horse field in here, and I'm going to take these horses in order that I like them, beginning from 12th to 1st. And the first one I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to apologize right off the bat to Everfast fans that I'm picking him last in this race. He's 30-1 morning line. He's 1 for 13 lifetime. Now sometimes he does jump up and surprise and run a big race. He did in the Holy Bull Stakes earlier this winter. He was second at 128-1 odds. And then he was the Preakness runner-up at 29-1 odds. He was a distant 4th in the Haskell last time. Typically when he faces graded stakes rivals, he's up against it. He's still eligible for a non-winners one lifetime allowance event. I don't take him seriously as a win candidate. Again, he could have one of those days where he can pop up and hit the board, but I'm not going to pick him in this spot. Number 8, Chess Chief, will be the next one I'll talk about. He's 30-1 morning line. He's another one that's eligible for an entry-level allowance race for trainer Dallas Stewart. He's 1 for 10 lifetime. He did finish second in the West Virginia Derby last time behind Mr. Money, but he was well beaten in there. He wasn't close to that one. He's going to have to step it up if he wants to compete in this Grade 1 race. Number 10, Scars Are Cool. He looks like one that could be good down the road. Just don't know if this is the race that he's going to jump out and run a big race. He's 30-1 morning line. He won a maiden race last time out at 1 1/8 miles at Saratoga, and he looked good winning that race. But obviously this is a very tough spot, your first start against winners. He is improving. He does own a strong pedigree, but I think down the road I would consider him. Maybe he'll later this year, or maybe as a 4-year-old, he could be a good horse, but I'm not sure that the Travers is the spot at this time for him. Number 9, looking at Bikinis, should be forwardly placed. 10-1 morning line for trainer Chad Brown. Was the beaten favorite in the Curlin Stakes last time out. Again, like I said, he's going to be a pace factor in here. Don't know how long he's going to be able to hang around in this race. Number 4, Laughing Fox, is one that certainly won't be a pace factor. He'll be towards the rear of the field early. He'll be trying to make up ground. And he's another one at a big price. He's 30-1 morning line. Now he likes to sit back and make that late run. The distance isn't going to be any issue for him. He's going to need pace help for sure. I'm not sure that he's really a win candidate, but if you're playing exotics, trifectas, superfectas, I could see him getting a piece of it if the pace heats up. Number 7, Mucho Gusto. He's 6-1 morning line for trainer Bob Baffert. I liked him last time in the Haskell Stakes. Don't like him as much in this spot. Now, he finished second in the Haskell. He ran a good race that day. I was concerned about the distance. He's one that as he gets past 1 1/16 miles, you're just not quite sure that he wants to go much further than that. He hung in there in the Haskell. The Haskell is a track that favors horses that have some speed, that can be up on the pace, and he does have that good early pressing speed. He ran a good race over that track that favors speed, and he finished a good second behind Maximum Security. And he had a strong workout for this race at Del Mar on August 19th, a nice bullet workout. Bob Baffert decided to run him here. Originally, Game Winner was supposed to run here. Game Winner had been pointing to this race for quite some time. He got sick. Bob Baffert called an audible. Mucho Gusto is going to run here. Now, a lot of times in these big stakes races, I don't like it when they're just going to throw him in the race. And that's kind of how I feel here, that Game Winner had a big chance to win for Bob Baffert, and he was disappointed that he didn't get the run there. And then all of a sudden, Mucho Gusto works well, and he throws him in this spot. I like the horse. He's improving. I just don't know that he wants to go 1.25 miles. Number 1, Owendale, should not have any problem with the distance. He's 6-1 morning line. He has a nice late kick. He might be the best of the late runners, and I don't think he's going to have any problem with the distance. He rallied to finish 3rd in the Preakness Stakes. He won the Ohio Derby last time. So he's one that earlier on this year and over the winter, he struggled a little bit, but then he blossomed in the spring and into the summer. So now Owendale's one. If he can get enough pace help, he can certainly finish somewhere in the top 3 or 4. Number 12, Tax. He might have to go to the lead from post 12. There's not a ton of speed in this race. He drew the outside, and I think they're going to try to get aggressive with Tax in here. He's one that can make his own luck, and that's exactly what he did in the Jim Dandy. These horses that have that good early pressing speed, they can work out their own trips, and that's what he did. He was able to be up on the pace in the Jim Dandy. His main rival in that race was Tacitus. Tacitus stumbled badly at the start, so Tax had a huge tactical advantage, and he was able to win and hold on there. And I don't know that he would have beaten Tacitus if that one had a clean trip, but he did what he had to do, and he's going to be up there this time. It's just a question of what kind of trip can he get from post 12. If other horses go to the inside, will he get hung out wide stalking? Will he have to go too fast from post 12 to make the lead? We're going to find out. He's certainly a threat to win this. He seems to be improving, and he should be forwardly placed throughout. Number 11, Endorsed, is the next one. He's one, I've had a long history with this one. If you go all the way back to my Kentucky Derby list, when I always start my list for the Kentucky Derby when they're 2-year-olds, September of their 2-year-old seasons. And my original number 1 last September was Endorsed. He broke his maiden in his career debut, and then he came back in his second career start in the Champagne Stakes. He got injured, didn't resurface until later this year in June at Belmont Park in a sprint, and he won that one. And then he stretched out from 6 furlongs to 1 1/8 in the Curlin Stakes last time out on a muddy track. He was second best that day. That was a nice effort. So now his third start after a layoff, he could improve. He has a strong pedigree for trainer Kieran McLaughlin. Joao Rosario is going to ride, and he did guide this one home to that sprint win at Belmont on June 23rd. I don't think he's going to have problems with the distance. He's won not quite as much as Scars Are Cool, where I said he could improve later. I feel the same way about Endorsed, though. I think he's one that I'm not quite sure he can win the Travers, but he's one that's improving. He's got a lot of promise, and I like him a lot. I just don't know that this is the race. But at 15 to 1, if you like him, I'm certainly not going to talk you off of him. Number 3, Highest Honors, will be my third choice. He's 10 to 1 morning line for trainer Chad Brown. He's lightly raced. He's on the improve. He's bred to go this far. He beat Endorsed in the Curlin Stakes last time at 1 1/8 at Saratoga on July 26th. So Highest Honors looks like a solid threat, and at 10 to 1 should offer some good value. My second choice will be number 2, Code of Honor. He's 4 to 1 morning line for trainer Shug McGahee. I think he's been well prepared for this race. Since he was placed second in the Kentucky Derby, he's only run 1 time. That was in the Dwyer Stakes, a 1-turn mile at Belmont Park, a grade 3. He rallied from last. He got no pace help. He was wide. He rallied. He won anyway. He went last to first. That was a nice effort there. He graduated at Saratoga last summer. I don't know that the 1 1/4 is his best distance, but he proved at least in the Kentucky Derby that he could run further. So he's one that you got to consider Code of Honor. He just seems to have been pointing to this race, and he's improving. Shug McGahee's won this race multiple times, so look, Code of Honor is a solid contender to win this. I'm going to go with number 6, Tacitus, one more time. I'm giving him one more chance. He's 5 to 2 morning line. I think he should have won his last 2 races. In the Belmont Stakes, it was an inside speed bias that day in the Belmont. He raced against the bias. He was out in post 10. He was wide throughout. He was second, beaten a length. The winner did ride on the good inside. Last time, stumbled badly at the start. Finished second in the Jim Dandy. Any kind of luck, he could have won either of those 2 races. Now they're putting blinkers on. So Belmont adds blinkers. He has a training track bullet for this on August 17th. I think the blinkers should try to get him involved a bit earlier. And if he can just break from the gate and not stumble this time, I think he's going to sit a good trip. He drew a good post right in the middle of the field. He has the pedigree to win this. He's been ultra consistent all year. He won the Tampa Bay Derby. He won the Wood Memorial. He was placed 3rd in the Kentucky Derby, and then he was 2nd in his last 2 in the Belmont Stakes and the Jim Dandy. So Tacitus has been right there with this group all year. This is a good chance for him to get his first grade 1 score. Now, some of the numbers that I'm going to look at today's Racing Digest. The CPR is a number that I think is strong for races like this. It's the comprehensive performance rating. It takes into account pace, final time, and closing fraction. So that's a good combination number. Horses that can at least show some positional speed and then have a good finishing kick. Now, Owendale got a 161. He tops the field in the Ohio Derby last time. He's going to need some luck, though. He's one that he's going to have to get some kind of pace help. Code of Honor got a 157 in the Dwyer. It's the second best number in here. So he's one that he's good coming off that good number. He's proven class-wise, run some good races in New York. So Code of Honor fits as a contender on a lot of different numbers. Highest Honors jumped up and got a 146 CPR in the Curlin Stakes. That was a nice number. And he's one that I think improving, good pedigree, should get a 1 1/4. Tacitus got a 134 last time and a 138 before that. And so that's his last 2 CPR numbers. And I think, as I said, he has excuses in both of those races. He stumbled badly at the start. I think he could have gotten a better number last time. Belmont Stakes, wide throughout. I think he could have got a better number in that race. So he's one that could be sitting on a top number here. Mucho Gusto with a 138 and a 142 CPR in his last couple. He fits, I just don't know about the distance. And then Endorsed got 138s in his last two, and maybe he's ready for a breakthrough effort, but I'm just not quite sure that this is the race that he's going to break through. Finally, Tax got a 136 last time in the Jim Dandy, but everything went right there. Now he's out in post 12, and Tacitus is probably going to run better here. So Tax is one that's contender on numbers, but he's going to have to improve, and he's going to have to run the race of his life again to win this. Now, my other videos, I did some preview videos. I talked about jockey trainers that have done well on the Travers in the past. I've talked about the track profile. I talked about the key prep races, some of the keys where I'd like to see horses coming off of sharp efforts at Saratoga. That's one of them. If the jockey and trainer have done well in the Travers in the past, give them bonus points as well. Tacitus fits on all those numbers, Code of Honor as well. So those are my top two contenders for sure. And here's how I will play this. We'll make a win wager on number 6 Tacitus. We're going to play an exacta. The 6 Tacitus over top of the 2 high Code of Honor, the 3 highest honors, the 11 Endorsed. Reverse that exacta, 2, 3, 11 with the 6. And then a trifecta. We're going to put the 2 and 6 on top, 2, 3, 6, 11 in second, 1, 2, 3, 6, 11, and 12 in third. Those wagers are right up on the screen right now. If you're interested in the complete digest, go over to today'sracingdigest.com, the Travers Complete Digest, right over there with tons of information at today'sracingdigest.com. You're going to get your CPR numbers, your fire numbers, like the fast figs. If you're interested in the fast figs, Today's Racing Digest's most profitable number, you can purchase that separately along with your Travers Digest if you want for $3, or they have a special going on at Today's Racing Digest. You can get fast figs $39 for 30 days. That's a good deal. So head over to today'sracingdigest.com if you're interested in the fast figs, the complete digest, my full card from Del Mar plus bonus stakes races from Saratoga. You can find all of that at today'sracingdigest.com, and more information on the fast figs in the description in this video. And that will wrap up this week's video. I'll be back next week with another stakes race from around the country.